Now, why did I do that? Well, I did it because I wanted to make sure that we saw whether or not there would be any residual effects from Breanna Stewart coming out holding us.
Those were the words of someone who knew exactly what was about to happen. He waited deliberately for Monday's ratings because he understood what most people missed. Breanna Stewart's Abolish ICE protest wasn't just controversial. It was about to become a real-time case study in how to further damage a league already struggling with disastrous viewership. And when the numbers finally dropped, they were even worse than anyone had predicted.
Well, there was. But I think there was another indictment of this league as well. Number one, this is the worst I've ever seen their ratings. Monday's ratings, and we'll get there. We're going to do Friday, Saturday, and Monday. But it also shows you how few people outside of, if I'm just being real, some activist fans are watching.
That's the indictment right there. When your ratings at an all-time low and barely anyone even notices because there were so few viewers left to lose, you're not facing a controversy problem. You're facing an existence problem. Unrivaled just delivered ratings so catastrophic that TNT executives are almost certainly holding emergency meetings over that $16 million contract they signed. But to understand how it all fell apart, we have to rewind to what the league was claiming just 7 days before this disaster.
Now, in case you don't remember, this was just 7 days ago. All right, a 48% increase over 2025. $40 million in league revenue in its second season. And I was like, interesting. And what made that interesting is, well, the media rights deal from TNT is 16.667.
Let's break down what happened over those 3 days, because the numbers tell the story. On Friday, January 31st, before Breanna Stewart's protest, the Fandom versus Vinyl game on TNT drew just 30,000 viewers in the 18 to 49 demographic. The Mist versus Rose game matched that with another 30,000, while Fandom Vinyl simulcast on True TV added 20,000 more. For those unfamiliar with cable ratings, total viewership is roughly 4 times the demo number, meaning these games likely pulled around 120,000 total viewers on a good night. In total cable rankings, these games place 131st, 125th, and 229th. Moving to Saturday, February 1st, the Lunar Owls vs. Breeze game drew 30,000 in the demo, ranking 143rd overall, while the Laces vs. Vinyl game pulled just 20,000, ranking 167th. Some games were likely dipping below 100,000 total viewers, and this was all before the controversy even began.
And this $40 million revenue is not basketball generated. This is investor generated. Well, at some point, investors want returns. They want to see what was generated. So let's just jump into this. This is Friday, okay? Last Friday. This is prior to Breanna Stewart. Right here, the Phantom versus Vinyl, TNT, did 30,000 viewers in the 18 to 49 ad demographic. The Mist and Rose, 30,000 viewers in the ad demographic. That same game, I guess, was the Phantom Vinyl game, was simulcast on True TV, did another 20,000 viewers. Look at these ranks far as actual.
This was the moment everything changed. Breanna Stewart walked out during warm-ups holding a sign that read, "Abolish ICE," explaining that policies should uplift families and communities rather than fuel fear and violence, because human lives are at stake. Within hours, backlash erupted, not just from casual viewers, but from the core audience that was still watching. What made this especially tone-deaf was the timing. It came just days after the Lake and Riley murder trial concluded. Lake and Riley, a 22-year-old nursing student at the University of Georgia, had been killed by an illegal immigrant in February, and the trial wrapped up in late January 2025, making the case a flashpoint in the immigration debate. Stewart didn't address Lakin, Riley, or the victim. Her statement focused solely on abolishing the agency responsible for deportation.
Let me take you back over the weekend. Right? Breanna Stewart explains her abolish ICE sign. She came out holding this sign right here, abolish ICE. I made a video on that, and I triggered some of the retards that were subscribed to this channel, and I waved at them as they went right off into the sunset. The next day I replaced every one of them with a follow-up video. All those subs came back. Not those people, but, people with common sense came back. Blew right past them. So I got them back, plus some. And Breanna Stewart, of course, run her mouth with this, abolish ICE, which means having policies to uplift families and communities instead of fueling fear and violence.
Monday, February 3rd, this is where it gets catastrophic. The Lunar Owls versus Laces game on TNT pulled 50,000 viewers in the 18 to 49 demo. That sounds like an increase until you realize it's still ranked only 130th in total cable viewership. The total audience was probably around 200,000, which, for a TNT primetime slot, is essentially a rounding error. But the second game that night, the Laces versus Breeze matchup, also on TNT, posted an NA in the ratings. NA means the viewership was 0.02% or below. It didn't even register. The game literally didn't appear in cable rankings because so few people were watching that Nielsen couldn't generate a meaningful number. Think about that. A professional basketball league with a $16 million media rights deal from Turner Sports aired a game on TNT that...
Well, it got worse on Monday. This is Monday's ratings right here. The Lunar Owls versus the Hive had 50,000 viewers. Wow, that's kind of a miracle, frankly. That's kind of a miracle. But their total viewership still wasn't good. 130th in the total rank. This was on TNT, folks. And then you got down to the Laces versus the Breeze. This was on TNT, not on True TV. It registered an NA. You see this, a .02 or below. Or below. Total rank, NA. Didn't even rank. Didn't even rank on the cable ratings, total viewers. Didn't show up.
The situation is even direr because Unrivaled has structural problems that the protest only accelerated. First, the talent gap. Angel Ree and Sabrina Ionesco, two of the biggest draws from year one, opted out this season. Ree to pursue other ventures. Ionesco skipping entirely. Losing them created a perception problem before the season even began. Second, the curiosity factor is gone. Last year, the league was new, and people tuned in to see the 3-on-3 format in action. This year, the novelty is gone, and viewers who weren't impressed last season aren't coming back. Third, the financial model doesn't work. The $40 million revenue sounds impressive until you factor in salaries for 30 players across 6 teams, facility rentals, production costs, marketing operations, and travel. TNT's money only covers part of it, and investors fund growth, not losses. Ratings dropping 70% year over year is a money fire. Fourth, the Warner Brothers Discovery situation adds uncertainty. TNT's parent company is in sale discussions, and new ownership will scrutinize contracts. Unrivaled $16 million deal could quickly look like dead weight. Fifth, the protest revealed how small the league's actual fan base is. When Breanna Stewart held up the abolish IC sign, the demo only dropped by 10 to 15,000 viewers, meaning perhaps 40 to 60,000 total viewers tuned out. In a normal league, a controversy like that would cost hundreds of thousands. The fact that Unrivaled lost just tens of thousands shows the league was already on life support. Looking ahead, the timeline is bleak. By March 2025, TNT could reconsider the media rights deal, especially if ratings don't improve. Summer 2025, WNBA CBA negotiations conclude. But if Unrivaled is still collapsing, players have no leverage to demand higher revenue shares. By January 2026, the third season of Unrivaled could be in jeopardy. Investors won't fund a vanity project indefinitely, and TNT isn't going to keep paying for programming that doesn't deliver viewers. The tragic part is that Unrivaled had potential. The format is watchable, production quality is solid, and 3-on-3 basketball with this talent level could work as a niche product. But the league needed to grow slowly, manage expectations, and avoid unforced errors. Instead, they took investor money, signed a media deal that created unrealistic pressure, and then watched as player controversies alienated the small audience they had. You can't build a sustainable sports league on activist fans alone. You need casual viewers who just want to watch basketball week after week. Unrivaled is losing all of them. Where does that leave the league? With the worst ratings in its short history, burning through investor cash, watching its backup plan narrative collapse, and hoping TNT doesn't pull the plug in March. WNBA players who position this as their alternative now see their leverage evaporate. And Breanna Stewart, who thought holding a political sign during warm-ups was a good idea, just became the face of Unrivaled's collapse. The question isn't whether the league can recover. It's whether anyone wants to fund a recovery when the ratings suggest there's no audience left. Unrivaled isn't just struggling. It's failing in real time on national television, and everyone can see it.